the best.
Yes, my country has offered a path to regulate 500,000 undocumented migrants. 500,000 people we live with every day, at the market, on the bus, at our children's school, people who care for our parents.
Making emotional arguments, getting those heartstrings.
Work in the fields, who have built hand in hand with us the progress of our country.
I wouldn't say that they've built hand in hand.
People who were already here, already part of our lives. Some say we've gone too far, that we're going against the current. But I would like to ask you, when did recognizing rights become something radical?
Recognizing rights for people that do not belong to your own country is a completely new idea. It's in terms of history, it's brand spanking new. Of course, in the short period of time, we see it as this thing which is obvious. It's not that obvious. And I think that rights, first and foremost, what are rights? Rights are only there if the country or the place that you live at has a system of force that gives you rights which they agree to and they bind you into. Rights are only provided by the system of structure that you have. So like the rights that you're providing to other countries and other people around the world is a nice idea, but that's where it ends. It's always enforced. So it's not a right.
When did empathy become something exceptional? Spain is above all a welcoming country, and this is the path we choose: dignity, community, and justice.
Very, very clever. Using these emotional statements, like if we're not going to do this, we're essentially bad people. If we don't allow them into our country, we're the ones that are not empathetic. There's no empathy for your own countrymen in this statement. There's no empathy for the people that have actually built it. Not for the last 15 years, not for the last 50 years. 1,000 years, the culture, the country, the proud history that you've come from. Those people come first. Rights, as this guy says, they are not international. They're not for everyone. Rights are protected by the countries, the sovereign countries that have policies in place and have decided that for the people of their own country. And that's a right that exists within that constitution. It cannot be extended to other countries. We can't take care of other countries. It doesn't make sense. Also, let's get into this explanation of bringing people in, because he wants to say that they work together, they help build the nation. For sure, Europe has a problem with people wanting to do these like laborious tasks, these hand labor tasks, these less important jobs. That is the case. So we have the replacement by immigration idea, and then we have the internal adaptation idea. Let's extrapolate the migration idea in this case. When you get a migrant population on high scale, I mean at high numbers, to come in and replace those jobs, they come in, they have a different culture in this case, a different faith, a different idea of life, they come from a different regime, and then they're going to participate in the jobs in your society that your society doesn't want to do. So there's an instant gap for them if they ever want to join the same people, if they ever want to assimilate. There's a huge difference because now you're separated by the type of work that you do as well. You're doing the work that I don't want to do. Okay, so we got you in just to do that kind of work. For a business sense, in the short term, that's good because they find people to do cheap labor. But you're sacrificing your people. You're going to sacrifice stability because different cultures and then also different economic levels are now going to be clashing directly for I don't know how long. The instability and the downside of that type of structure is just huge. It makes no sense. The second option, which is the option to bring those blue collar jobs into the internal market, is a strategy that does require more time. Companies that want to pay laborers a lot, they want to be as profitable as possible. So when they get people in from another class essentially, or a different place, and they can pay them under the table or they can pay them cheaper, the company sees, yes, okay, that's cool. So in the short term, this internal strategy is tough, but it's not impossible, and it is actually necessary, because by bringing those jobs into the internal market, you force the market to make a necessary adaptation. Perhaps you need to bring the price of energy down a little bit, not a little bit, a lot. This green energy stuff and sending energy prices through the roof in Europe has made it almost impossible for any internal sector to really cope, for any business to cope with the energy prices and how much it costs to pay for good work. That needs to change. This change in the short term is tough, but necessary. If it happens, and if it's supported, it will be robust, innovative, and it will be, in the long term, a grand success. Contrary to getting a bunch of foreigners in that will remain to a large extent foreign in your own sector, and they will be separated and create a bunch of social unrest and turmoil.